At the start of each project that you will be completing with ArcMap, you actually have to set up ArcMap appropriately. That means you can set up links to your data folder, you set up specific map properties in your map as well, things like that. Now, if you want to add data to ArcMap, there are a couple of ways to do this. You can press the Add Data button there. If I press on it, it's like the Windows Explorer. It allows me to navigate using various methods and links that have been created. Now, what ArcMap does allow you to do is it allows you to actually create a connection to a folder that contains your data, and that connection will become permanent in this particular map, so you can reuse it as you wish. If you have a look at my interface here, these are my folder connections. So I have a permanent connection set up to my desktop, my ArcGIS folder, which is where the default database is stored. If you don't specify a file location, it will be stored in the default database when you run a tool. Then I've got a link to my GIS data in my documents folder, my downloads folder, my Google Drive folder, and then a GGY203 folder, which is the GIS course at the university offered on the second year level. Now, I'm going to be working in the GIS 310 folder, which is not listed here. So how I do that is I click on this option here, connect to folder, and I navigate to where I want to go. So these are my favorites, they often pop up, but so I have to find the location of my actual GIS 310 folder, which is currently in my Google Drive folder. As you see, GIS 310 is there. It's year 2019. It will be part of my practicals. And I will just connect the folder directly to the root folder of the practicals. The data I want is in practical 1, and this is what I have in there. So for the purpose of this exercise, I'll only be using a couple of these. I can either click just on one of them, so I can say geol.shape, that's the extension, which you can change here. So geol.shape, you can say add, and it's added. This is a geology layer that has been now added to ArcMap. I can also add multiple layers at the same time, so I can say add data. Now I'm interested in farm outlines, qxfarms.shp. I'm interested in the roads. I'm also interested in the land use, and I will leave it at that for now. So as I click on these, so I click on one, I press down Control on my keyboard, I press again, and I press again, so I can individually highlight these, or if I just want, for example, the projected file geo_prg j all the way down to the road _prj, I just click the top one, press shift all the way to the bottom, all of them will be selected. But I only want the farms and the land use and the roads, so I use control, I say add, ignore that for now, it just means that the files don't have a projection attached to it. You can fix that later. Say OK, and there we are, all the data added. There are other ways to do this as well. You can go to your ARC catalog. Now that you can also create a folder connection here. All right, so exactly the same way. We have already set up a folder connection in this, so I'm not going to do it again. But here it is, GIS 310 2019 Practicals. Perfect. That's the folder I want to be working in. I want to be working in the data folder. I can either click on it, hold, drag over. That's the copy paste function. Or I can individually, or I can add more than one. So what I do there is, see that little button there? That's your view panel. All right, this is what you want down here. I want to see it as various lists. So I go to the root folder, click on that. As you can see here, I wanted geology, I wanted farms, I wanted land use, and I wanted roads. I use the same function. I use control as I click. I press on one when they're all highlighted. I drag over I'll get the same error, of course, because the projection is still not assigned, but that's fine for now. Just say OK, and you'll re-add it. So here you see. Very important to note is that this roads is the same as that one. It is called a layer file. It points to the source of your data on your hard drive. If you right-click and say Properties, and you go to the Source tab, the various tabs here, it will tell you where the actual data are stored. So it's stored in my practical folder, practical 1 data, roads, and that's the name. If you right-click the other one and you see where it's stored, you'll find that it's exactly the same path. So this is pointing to the same source data. These are called layers or feature layers. They are not permanent. They're only stored in this particular map. And that's why you can have multiples of the same.